truth. So why are you here? Now, I don't really exactly mean why are you here this morning, because I suspect that many of you are here this morning to be reminded of the bigger picture of why you're here, because you may have forgotten. As humans, we sometimes forget. So why are you here in this life? With the experiences that you have, with the people you have, with the everything, the circumstances of your life. Why are you here? And what is your highest truth? Whether you remember it or not, you are here as an expression of the divine. You are here as co-creators with the divine. You are here to create with your thoughts and your words and your actions and your gratitude. You are here to absolutely give instruction to the divine, to the universe, as to what you would like more of in your life, what you want to feel, what you want to experience, the love that you want to share, and the things that you want to have as well. But abundance is so much more, we all know, so much more than stuff, right? Yeah. You are here as a co-creator with the divine. Now, Ernest Holmes said, we believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of individual life, forever and ever expanding. Now, to me, that says, this is not our only trip. This is not our only experience. Now, some believe in reincarnation. Some, Ernest Holmes believed that we had other experiences, our souls on other realms. But we are here now forever and ever expanding. Think forever and ever? That's a long time. Now, and we're here to create. We're here to create on the level of our lives, our families, our communities, our nation, our world. Now, it seems that not everybody in the world wants the same thing. Have you noticed? Yes. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. And the truth is, not everybody, I want to create peace and abundance and joy. What about y'all? Yep. Yeah, right. Huh? Well, yeah. And I think of that as my highest truth, and it's the highest truth that many of us, especially in this teaching, are working toward. But the law works by giving us more of what we think about, more of what we dwell on. Now that works if it's good stuff, and it works if it's not such positive stuff. And hence we have a very interesting world. But our highest and best is what we decide, each of us, is our highest and best. The universe doesn't make decisions about that. It simply says yes to what we claim with our words and our actions and all that we are. So your highest truth is that you are a one-of-a-kind creator. So what do we want to create? Well, that's what we talk about. And how do we create it? That's what we talk about every week. So you're not going to get all the answers this morning. You have to keep coming back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But today, I'm going to talk about how we can create lives of love and joy and abundance with gratitude. Gratitude. Now, gratitude is an important part of my life. I have so much to be grateful for. I have the kind of life that a lot of people want. I have my sweet wife, Mary. We have a wonderful home. We're healthy. We have good food. We have fresh air. We have this wonderful spiritual community. I have this amazing assistant minister. Life doesn't get much better than this. And so gratitude is a really easy thing for me. Now, one could ask, though, which comes first? Am I blessed and abundant because I'm grateful? Or am I grateful because I'm blessed and abundant? We would naturally, maybe first of all, think that, I'm grateful because everything is going so well. But maybe it's the other way. Maybe everything is going so well and I am so blessed because I'm grateful. Because that's the kind of power that gratitude has. Eric Butterworth said, "You do not need something to be grateful for. You need only the desire to feel grateful." Only the desire to feel grateful. And scientific studies, of course, have shown that people who live with gratitude are healthier. They're healthier physically and psychologically. They engage in healthier activities. They take better care of themselves. They're more willing to seek help when they need it. And they're happier as well, of course. And for people dealing with chronic illness, for people who are dealing with chronic illness, they do better when they're grateful. If they're grateful and looking for all of the good stuff, then they absolutely feel better and are of more service in the world. So gratitude makes a difference at every stage in life. Students and teens, when they spend time in gratitude, their grades are better, their health is better, their family relationships are better. I think they're easier to get along with. I mean, gratitude is this magic thing. So it's absolutely important for us. It's also been shown to be an important component of resiliency in older women. Probably older men too, but the study was older women. So, we're more resilient as we are grateful, grateful, grateful. Ernest Holmes, in The Power of an Idea, said, "Gratitude is not only a virtue, but it also is part of a practical philosophy of daily life. There is no wiser way of living than to remember every morning what life has given us and to lift up our thought in thankfulness for every bounty we possess." Gratitude every morning. So gratitude is a powerful tool for creating lives of love, abundance, and joy. Now, I'm thinking that that's what most of you want, right? Am I talking to the right group?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Love, abundance, and joy. We definitely want more of that. So what is gratitude, and how does it make a difference in our lives? Well, gratitude, as most of us know, is that feeling of thankfulness and appreciation. A Course in Miracles defines gratitude as appreciation for blessing received, the appropriate response to reality and its gifts. And it also says that gratitude is an essential aspect of love, bring joy to all who give as well as all who receive. So right now, think of something or someone that you are grateful for. It may be a spouse, family members, children, grandchildren. It may be something like good books or amazing music, something that feeds your soul. Think of something that you're grateful for. So as you feel grateful, as you feel that gratitude, do you feel a warmth in your heart? Some of you, I see, it has brought a smile to your face. Maybe it's allowed your shoulders to relax or your gut to unclench. Gratitude is a pretty magic thing. It feels really good, but it's not just a wonderful feeling, though it is that. Since the creative law, this law of the universe that says that we get what we put out there, we get back the energy of what we express. Since that's true, as Ernest Holmes said, this is a practical practice, this gratitude. In answer to the question, how should we pray, Ernest Holmes said, by giving thanks that we already have that thing that we pray for, by completely believing and never doubting. By believing and never doubting. That sounds like faith. Well, imagine that. Imagine that. And Meister Eckhart, of course, said, if the only prayer you ever prayed in your entire life was thank you, that would be enough. Because, when we say thank you, we know that we have received something. And we can say thanks in advance, knowing that it is ours. Timing might not be here quite yet, but it is ours. Whatever the good feelings we want from that, whatever we want to share of that, it's already ours. So we can give thanks for it in advance. In advance. So how can we use this thing in our daily life? How can we get more gratitude? Well, if we catch ourselves having negative thoughts or complaining or something like that, if we can use it to be a clue, a red flag, a reminder, then we can instead choose something to be grateful for. If we can catch ourselves, then we can choose, because life is all about choices, then we can choose to think something different. Now, if I notice myself thinking about how I wasn't thrilled because not all of my choices won in the elections, I could go down that rabbit hole, or I can choose to be grateful for the fact that I get to vote, that we get to vote, that we have this process. Now, there's going to be a real difference in how I feel if I do that, or if I say, oh, I am blessed. We are blessed. That changes things. It changes the hormones in our body. It changes the very cells in our body to be grateful. Or if I catch myself being irritated by slow traffic, I can, I could wave at folks. Or I can be so grateful that I have a car. And it's a cute little car. It's a, little Mini Cooper convertible. And what's not to be grateful for with that? So I have a choice about how I go through life, about how I go through even traffic. Now, I know that this is a pretty special group. And I know that you've all done your work. But I was wondering if there happens to be anyone here who in the last week has either complained or had a negative thought or thought of lack. No, okay. Does anybody have one thing, just one thing, that they would be willing to share that they've complained about? Or, if not, I happen to have some. But anybody have one thing they want to share?
Cheetos.
Huh?
Cheetos.
Cheetos. What about Cheetos?
Our supreme Cheeto.
Oh. Okay. Now, it took me a while, but I suspect she's speaking of some leadership.
Yeah.
And what we can be, is there something you can be grateful for? Can we be grateful that all things change? That nothing is forever? We can be grateful that it has brought to our awareness what it is we want to create in our country and in the world. Has it not allowed us to wake up to see the divisiveness that has been in our country? Definitely. So in case any of the rest of you should have, a complaint or some negative thing, then there's always something good that we can be thankful for. Always, always, always. Okay, this gratitude thing obviously isn't rocket science, but here's the thing. It doesn't work if we don't practice it. okay? Unless we use it, it's not going to work for us. We can have the concept that being grateful is going to bring great things into our lives, but if we don't allow our choices to take us into that place in consciousness where we are grateful, it is not going to work. Because thoughts of gratitude are thoughts. And in our teaching, we know that our thoughts create our reality. We know that we get more of what we think about and focus on, whether it's what we want or what we don't want more of. So, of course, when we think thoughts of gratitude and feel those feelings of gratitude, because feeling is so important. We're not just thinking beings, we are feeling beings. When we think those thoughts of gratitude, we get more to be grateful for. It's as simple as that. Now, simple is not always easy, because most of us, or at least many of us, didn't grow up in families where we were taught the power of gratitude. Most of us didn't grow up in families where we were taught that we can draw good into our lives by thinking good thoughts and sharing our good with others. So it's not always easy. In order to do it, in order to be in that place of gratitude, we have to be in the present moment and be aware of what we're thinking. We have to just stop and notice what we're thinking. And then we can make choices to be in gratitude. So there's not only power in feeling our gratitude, but there's power in sharing our gratitude. And there are so many ways that we do it. I mean, we share our gratitude with food. This week, it's going to be a big week of sharing gratitude with food. We share it with love. We share it with a gentle touch. We share it with gifts. I mean, there are so many ways to share gratitude. Each of us has a plethora of ways that we can share gratitude. And I want to tell you a story, read you a story about sharing gratitude. And this is from a past San Francisco Chronicle front page. It's called A Whale of a Thank You. A female humpback whale had become entangled in a spider web of crab traps and lines. She was weighed down by hundreds of pounds of traps that caused her to struggle to stay afloat. She also had hundreds of yards of rope and line wrapped around her body, wrapped around her tail and her torso, and even some that was wrapped through her mouth. Now, a fisherman spotted her just outside the Golden Gate Bridge and radioed an environmental group to come and help. And within a few hours, they were there. But as they checked it all out, they knew that the only way they could save her was to get in the water and cut some of those lines, cut some of those ropes. Now, getting in the water with a whale can be a dangerous thing. I mean, one flap of the whale can kill you. But when the researchers, when the helpers got in the water and started to cut away the ropes, that whale never once did anything to interfere with what they were doing, or never did one aggressive thing. She simply was there. In fact, the person who cut the line out of her mouth said that the whale's eye she was looking at me, and I could tell she was grateful. So they freed her. Now, what do you think's going to happen when a whale is freed after all that? Like, out of here? That's what they thought would happen. But what happened was she went out and she swam in some circles that just seemed to be celebratory, and then she came back to each of the people who had freed her and nudged them gently, just kind of pushed them a little bit and looked at them, and they knew her gratitude. Every one of those people, everyone that was in the water, she came to individually to share her gratitude. It changed those people's lives. It absolutely changed their lives forever. Gratitude and sharing our gratitude. So how will you share your gratitude this week? And going forward, your highest truth is that you have come to co-create your life. You have come to share what it is you decide to share from your heart. And one of the ways that we can co-create a life of love, abundance, and joy is through upping our gratitude. Now, when you came in, you were given an affirmation with a place for a list. So I encourage you to use this as a starting place for this week's gratitude list. Now, I know this is not very much room. I don't want people to actually we don't need to pass pens right now. This is a homework assignment. Yeah. You don't need, if you want to, you can grab a pen after service and start on it, but this is for you to take home. Now, I know it's not very much room. Just the beginning of a gratitude list, but it is a beginning, and so I encourage you to use that. So let's right now read this affirmation together. It's also on the screen. My life is filled with an abundance of goodness, and I am grateful. One more time. My life is filled with an abundance of goodness, and I am grateful. And now, as practitioners join me, let's move into prayer. Practitioners and ministers. Oh, I'm so grateful for this day, so grateful for each person here, so grateful that we are opening our hearts and opening our minds, that we have even come to consider that our lives can be even better than they are now. So wherever you have come from this week, whether it has been a place of challenge or a place of celebration, I just know that as you go forth from this place, as you go forth from this time, not only will your path be filled but with even more good, even more love, even more joy, even more abundance, even more of all good things, but your path will also be filled with reminders to be grateful. Reminders to be grateful. And so as you spend time in that gratitude, as you make your gratitude lists, as you share gratitude on Thanksgiving, as you come on Wednesday night to be grateful with us in a group, just absolutely know that gratitude is making a difference in your life and in the world. And so knowing that we are just amazingly blessed, beyond our wildest dreams, I give great thanks. I let this go. I let it unfold for each of us in the absolute perfect way with delight and joy. I surrender it all to the divine. I give it to the universe, and I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And together we say, and so it is.